So Crystal, I've already
I
made an
watched the whole thing.
introduction.
I
Oh,
watched
you
it.
did.
I was on.
So Crystal, first of all, let me say thank you for just taking the time out of your schedule to do this. I just think everybody that I've interviewed, you guys are just doing some amazing things, and I want people to know it. I want people to support the things that you're doing. I want you to get the word out, and even if it's 2 people, 3 people, 4 people on my calls, I want those 2 and 3, 4 people to know what's going on. So, Crystal, I always started off like this, and we can be quick, but tell me, Crystal, how was it growing up? What was growing up like for you?
Privileged. I want to say I
Wow.
had some crazy, sad story. I didn't. uh, Growing up, listen, not all of us have tragic stories. I
Yeah.
unfortunately had, both parents growing up. I had, my brother, very loving family from the country. So we were the family that, went on vacations together. Again, mom and dad still together right now, about 61 years in. And whatever we did not have, I didn't know it. So, we came from a village of love and support. And so my upbringing was really, really healthy. But I think, that laid the foundation for me to have the tolerance, if you will, to show love to other people and care about what other people were going through, because I was shown love growing up. I was raised in a loving household. So, and so that's it. Yeah, it was really, I just don't have one of those sad stories. My dad paid for my college, but again, I know he paid for college, but I will say again, it's taught me love, and I have love for our people. I was always the person that if somebody got in trouble, they knew to call me because I would help, even, when I had nothing to do with it. For some reason, I was always the person, if they got in legal trouble, call Missy. And of course, Missy, they call me Missy, call Missy, Missy will help. But that's because I was raised in such a loving environment and I was shown love. So it's easy to give when you know what it is.
Yeah. Wow. Say that again.
Love is easy to give when you know what it is.
Facebook, I hope you heard that one. That's a Crystal quote right there, guys. Take that one to the bank on that.
And I'll say
so
this.
Crystal,
Listen, Iggy, do not worry about if it's 1, 2, 3 people on this. You know why? Because in the Bible it says, despise not humble beginnings, because the Lord rejoices in you doing the work. So
come on.
Yeah, so it doesn't make a difference.
Facebook, y'all don't know what y'all got yourselves into for this 30 minutes. Y'all don't know. I'm telling you.
So it doesn't make a difference, because here's the thing. We're doing the work, and you never know how far the ripples of your decisions will extend. So you don't know who this is going to reach at some point. And it may be somebody that's sitting on their gifts, sitting on their dreams, sitting on whatever that's in them, will say, you know what, they'll come back and they'll loop around and they'll see it and say, I think I can do it, as we get further into the conversation. So, you know what, I felt some kind of way when I first got started, and I'm really only 2 months in the name Our Sons Rise, but my advocacy extends back 20 years. So again, despise not humble beginnings, brother. I'm hanging on to you. I see what you're doing. You are in service, and service to others leads to greatness. So no, I'm hanging on to you.
So you're a product of Potomac High School.
Of course, absolutely.
Go Braves, go Braves.
It was Braves back then. I think it's Wolverines now, is it?
I think so. Yeah. But so tell me, Crystal, after you graduated, tell me what the decision was then.
After I graduated, I went to corporate America. Was not a good fit. I worked at Booz Allen in Hamilton for about 8 years doing computer graphics and desktop publishing. And I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. So I left Booz Allen, started to do network marketing, and network marketing, it was pretty good. It was a grade A training ground, but the money just wasn't there. I had this really glorious title, but I had no money. So left there and started doing mortgages. Mortgages was great, but you know what happened to the market? It tanked. So after I did mortgages, I started to do financial services. Actually, I'm still in financial services. That's my business. That's what I do primarily. you know, by trade, I am in financial services, but by calling and, you know, I would say by gifting, advocacy is what's pulling me. Advocacy and activism.
So, and this is why, so there was a reason why everyone that I've called to ask to do these interviews, there was a reason why. In following you, Crystal, your advocacy, your community, you're trying to just get people to do something, to be something, is really intriguing. So I wanted to talk about that. How did that even start?
Oh boy. Okay, so listen, you got a little time, brother. Okay, so let me just tell you. So when did it start? It started, I'm going to just be honest with you, it started like 20 years ago. I remember when it was a gentleman that we knew, you know, in the area, got himself in some trouble. We were in our early 20s, and low-level weed dealer, went to California, bought some, you know, weed back here, or tried to, from California to Maryland. But in Pittsburgh, he was arrested. And so, you know, he had two small kids, and I'll never forget, the family came to me and they said, listen, help, because the attorney, you know, it's transporting, so it's federal. He didn't know. He just, young guy, you know, that frontal lobe's not fully developed, and didn't really understand the consequences of his decision. He's just thinking he's bringing some weed back, I'll sell it to a few people. No, it's federal. So he was looking at 15 years. And so I came in because I knew the family, and ended up going to Pennsylvania and talked to the attorney. And my first question to the attorney was, why? Why did they even stop him on his layover? Was he on a watch list? Why did they stop him? And all that to say, the case got dropped. Working in conjunction with that attorney, the case got dropped because they violated his Fourth Amendment right, illegal search and seizure. The airport security had to admit that they profiled him. They stopped him because he had on baggy pants, young black guy, and he had a hoodie on. That's the reason. And they were going to give him 15 years for being black with jeans and a hoodie. Granted, there's the weed, but, you know, in another situation, really quickly, another gentleman, young guy, ended up robbing the Kmart in our area. He did it in the morning before anybody even got there. He and three other guys. He lost his construction job, and he was with, you know, three other guys. So they robbed the Kmart, but somebody got to work before they actually got in and tripped the alarm. The police came. The two guys got away, but he couldn't because he was disabled. He had just recently gotten shot himself. So he was facing 20 years. But here's the miraculous thing. Some of the people in Kmart, it was only about 6 people, they wanted to come to court on his behalf because they said, he kept saying, I'm not going to hurt you. You're going home. I'm not going to hurt you. I just need the money. I'm not going to hurt you. So anyway, so 20 years is what he was facing. Family came to me and said, you know, we need help. Different family, of course. And I said, all right, I'll look into it. So the first thing I did was interview that attorney that got him a plea deal of 20 years, fired that attorney, and ended up getting another attorney in the area. Ultimately, he was given 2 years in a drug rehab program and served no jail time at all. So what I learned is at a very early age that incarceration is a racist tool of oppression. And so in these two instances, they wanted to give our young black men 20 years or 15 years, just lock them up and put them away. And oftentimes we look at what a person did. We look at the what, but we don't look at why they did it. Do you get what I'm saying? And so I've helped individuals inside of the, you know, the system get medical care when the institutions deny them medical care or surgeries, when they have sick family members, get them closer to home so their family members can visit. And so I just realized that my success rate of actually helping individuals was like really high. But I'll tell you one thing, it wasn't until my own son got in trouble. He found himself in a really serious legal situation. And so I'll give it to you like this, Inicio. So think about this. You're going up the Beltway and you see a car on fire. You see a car accident on the side of the road. And, you know, you might slow down for a little bit because you want to see the rubberneck. And, you know, you see the car's on fire. You might stop just to see, or you might not. Or you might just say a prayer for the family as you go by, right? But now imagine this. Same situation. You start driving by on the Beltway and you see a car that you recognize, and it's a friend of yours. So, well, in that instance, you will probably, look over. Now it's a little more critical to you. You're going to pull over and you're going to see what you can do to help, right? Think about this. Imagine if you're driving down the Beltway and you see a car on fire and there's an accident scene and it's your car, your spouse, and your kids are in that car. You will burn or melt trying to get your kids out of that car. Do you get what I'm saying? And so that's what happened for me. Everything turned around, and I got a front row seat in how the criminal injustice system is. My son was a law clerk when this happened. He was on the debate team at school, Bowie State University, known in Upper Marlboro not to be an inmate or criminal, but filing motions in the courthouse. And the time that they wanted to give my son was insane. So then COVID happened. We were all shut down. And I'm going to tell you this, that had to be nothing but God, because in the chaos, it created a canvas for me to just pour into all my thoughts, access myself, and really dig into how I was feeling. So I went to go get my hair done one day by a young lady who used to do my hair, and she and I just had the best conversations about, she's a mother of Black sons, I'm a mother of Black sons. And one day we said, why don't we do what you're doing? Why don't we just put this online? Because everybody that comes and listens to the conversations, they want to be in it. It's really intriguing conversation. So that unfortunately didn't work out because we had different schedules, but I couldn't let it go. There's an inner tugging. And I said, thank you, God, my son had me. But there's some nameless, faceless kids and men that they don't have an advocate, that they deserve an advocate. And my soul is committed to this project. So what I'm looking to do is, right now, it's just a social media platform that's intended to share content with my community that uplifts, encourages, informs, and even offer solutions and resources. So I give, the suicide hotline for individuals for depression and different things. But I am looking to build out my advocacy and start a foundation where we can actually help people with financial literacy, education, job training, of course, mental illness support, substance abuse, etiquette, pull your pants up. Etiquette class is so important. What fork to use, open the door for females. So that's a little bit further down the line, but really just to change that negative cultural narrative of what Black men are. We have to do it. And we can do it right where we are, in the space that we're in, and be effective in the space that we occupy. We can do it right where we are. So,
So let me say, every time I follow you, I see that you are on the ground with some of our leaders. I see you with the sheriff of PG one day. I see you with Brave Boy. I see you with, all of our leaders. And you're fighting. You're fighting for us. You're fighting for us as a community. You're a PG girl. And tell me what that's about.
Well, it's taken some time. I have been methodical in building these relationships. So it wasn't, happenstance. It wasn't anything that, very intentional. Very intentional. And what I know for sure is that we have to build relationships with our lawmakers, with our elected officials. You have to build relationships. So here's the thing, some, elite communities, little, Chad gets pulled over by the police, and, 9 times out of 10, that, a white family could call into the sheriff and go, hey, you pulled Chad over. You could have just given him a ticket, sent him home, or whatever. You didn't have to. They have the relationships. Oftentimes in our community, we shy away from our elected officials. You know why? Because we don't trust them. And we don't, which I get it, I get it, but you still have to build the relationships, because when and if you're in a situation, you now have direct contact. They know your face. They know what you've done. They know you're not going away. They know that you're engaged in the process. And they also know that you have created a following to some degree where you can influence outcomes. of elections, and you can unseat potentially some of the leadership. So it's important that we build those relationships. And again, it was very intentional. So you have to be intentional by your steps. It's not going to happen because they're busy. Listen, they are busy. I know Miss Brave Boy, and I'm telling you, she's an amazing person. But I know there had to be at some point she had to say, there she is again.
Again.
There she is again. There she is again. And you know what? I'm going to be here. I'm a taxpayer. I'm in Prince George's County. And, you know, these are our elected officials. And so we do want to, you know, hold them accountable. And I'll say this, that there is a shift in our county right now to drive down mass incarceration, police reform. There's a shift happening. And I'm encouraged with the direction that our county is going in. But I wanted to be a part of it. And this happened prior to my son getting in trouble, you know, but I wanted to be a part of it. I just felt that it's just something necessary that we should all do. And again, I know everybody doesn't have the tolerance for it. You know, I felt a little thirsty at some point where I was like, you know, she looks and she's like, or either, you know, Sydney Harrison, District 9, Councilman Chair Calvin Hawkins. I just kept showing up. I'm undeniable. I just kept showing up. You know, I almost felt like the woman off of Fatal. What is that? Fatal Attraction. I'm not going to ignore it. Yeah, that's me. I'm here.
You know, so Facebook, I am on live with Crystal Hollingsworth Britton, and you know, I've been doing this. I've done a couple of interviews, and it's amazing. It's a coincidence today, Crystal, because I've done a lot of these interviews, and this one person has not been on my call, but she's here now, and she's one of the people that I was going to call for a Monday. Sharita, hey, Sharita Cookie.
Hey, Sharita.
Get ready for my call, Sharita, because I need you on my live in about 2 Mondays from now. Thank you.
Yeah, this is exciting. I'm glad this is good work that you're doing. Good work.
Thank you very much. I'm just trying to bridge all of us together because we need each other. It's people like you. It's people like you. It's people like Sharita. It's people like all of the guys that I you know, Archie Beslow and Kip Coleman. I've had so many people, Deacon Tim Tillman. I've talked to so many people, and we all want the same thing. So there has to be a day that we all can get together and figure this out. You know, it has to be a program. It has to be a platform for us to do this. Talk to me about. We're gonna wrap up, but talk to me about. I saw you with Dondre Whitfield.
Yes, Dondre Whitfield.
So he's doing something right now too, man. He's always doing something. I got two things. Dondre and I go back. I used to work at the Mirage, and Ron, the owner of the Mirage, had a little contract with some of the actors, and Dondre used to come down there all the time. He had a cousin on the police force, and I think his cousin went to either Potomac or Oxon Hill.
Okay.
He used to come down to Mirage all the time. And also when I was road managing Whistle, I used to always just see him around in Brooklyn. And, you know, so yeah, I saw you with them, and I said, oh, so tell me about that project. Tell me about that.
Okay, so you know what? Just being in your space, doing what it is that, you know, we do, the advocacy, the activism. Again, there was a platform with another young lady that I shared, but, you know, didn't work. Our schedules were crazy, but we were so committed to the project. We were like, even if we can't do it together, let's still do it separately. And so one of my, she's family, Christelle Settle, she's in California. She saw the programs and she saw the interviews. And so, of course, it was another name at the time, but it still was geared towards changing that negative cultural narrative and uplifting our young Black men. So she says, hey, you know, Dondre actually, I think he saw it, or, you know, she shared it with him. And he had a book, Male versus Man. That book is amazing. And, you know, we all had a conversation. You know, she bridged us together and felt that the book was beneficial to the community because it talks about how to honor women. It talks about how to teach children and how to elevate men. And ultimately, you elevate men, you know, to change the world. And so the book it talks about, it's so many gems. And I couldn't believe it, because when she said, oh, you know, Dondre Whitfield, I'm going, well, maybe there's another one. Maybe there's another one. And so I said, well, let me Google it, because I had not heard of the book at the time, and I'm an avid reader. So when I looked and it was the Dondre Whitfield.
The Dondre Whitfield.
Yes, absolutely. But when I tell you how honored and how humbled I am by him sharing on our platform, by him being a celebrity, most celebrities, they don't lend themselves to us just readily, because our platform isn't big enough. But not him. He said, here's what I want to do. This book is good, whether the same thing you said, whether it's 2 or 10,000, but it's going to save somebody's life. It's going to shape somebody's life. And then in turn, it'll, you know, help somebody else. So yeah, so he came on and he did his thing, and we're going to do a part 2. We're going to do a part 2. But in the book, he talks heavily about doing our work, doing the work, doing our work. We always want to project out. If there's an issue, if there's something going on, we want to project out, we want to blame, but you have to do the work. It starts with the person that's looking at you in the mirror every morning. That's where the work starts. And I'm not to give the book away, because we're actually going to do a part 2, but, you know, he says, you know, look in your household, even for men, are you a fire starter or firefighter? So, you know, obviously those are 2 very separate roles. Do you cause fires in your house, or do you help to put them out? And so everybody wants to strive to be a firefighter, not a fire starter, so we can have healthier homes. He talks about trauma, you know, from early childhood, but again, just doing the work on ourselves. And so Dondre is coming back to do a part 2, and he's definitely on my life when a friend of the community. And so I was on a live that he and Devon Franklin did. Amazing work. Hold on, my computer went out. But yeah, so anyway, he blessed the community. He blessed the community, and he has such a giving heart. So we're gonna do it again. We're absolutely gonna do it again.
In closing, Crystal, do you want to share anything? Do you want to say anything?
You know what? Yeah, I do want to say follow. I'm going to share more than this, but follow, please, Our Sons Rise. As a matter of fact, my girlfriend just got on me. I'm, you know, from the country. My parents are from the country. She said it's not our, it's our. Our Sons Rise. She just told me today. She's a school psychologist. She said, you keep saying our Sons Rise on Instagram and Facebook. We have so much more coming. We're going to do toy drives, and we're going to do coat drives, and we just have a lot of stuff that we're working on. So stay tuned. But I'll say this, be encouraged. It's so many of us out here that, you know, that's doing the work, and just make sure that we stick together, and we do our work too. Make sure that we do our work, but be encouraged. We do have a long way to go. I know, you know, there's a lot of heaviness that's going on right now, but there's a lot of work to be done, but there's also a lot of work that have been done, and we're in a much better space, but we have to stick together. We have to stick together. And that's it.
Crystal, I wasn't playing when I said that. I think I'm being honest, so far, I think I've done about 32 interviews, 36 interviews.
I can't wait to get 30.
I want to have some type of program that I invite everybody that I interview, so that we can light bulb, so that we can come up with what we're going to do, what our next plan is, what our next, you know, form of action is. And I'm going to do that this year. I know that I am. Okay. So look forward to that, Crystal. Crystal, you're beautiful. You've always been beautiful. I thank you. I love your smile. Thank you. If you go back on our...
Listen, I can't see you.
You can't see me? You know what? You in those glasses.
There he is.
You know what? It's been lovely catching up with you.
Thank you.
You know what?
Thank you. And listen, brother, I want to have you on Our Sons Rise Conversations. I need your light. I need your light on my platform in my community.
Definitely.
Okay, so we'll
I'm there. Please do.
Thank you. It won't be on a Monday. I get it.
Okay, I know.
All right, Ignacio. All right, now.
Thank you.
All right,
take care.
Hey everybody, Crystal Hollingsworth of Our Sons Rise. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out some of our other videos.